Hey Bible lovers, I'm Tim Nichols, and I'm here to bring you your Nichols Worth. And after a long wait anticipating this Bible, it is finally out. My favorite layout in the New King James in red goatskin. And they spared no detail on this Bible to include the box. But first, we got to kind of go through a history lesson. Number one, this, I believe, was the very first premiere collection that Thomas Nelson ever released, the NKJV Large Print Thinline. And I'll never forget the first time I saw it with that really nice goatskin. Now this one, as you can see, this was before they did the raised hubs on the spine, but still got that beautiful dark print, that beautiful layout, and that 10-point font. You got your references and notes on the bottom. Really nice out of the way verse numbers so they don't get in the way of the reading experience, with some red accents, and these have the words of Christ in black. I like this so much, I actually got it rebound. In fact, I've got a little trick for you. Are you ready for this? Let's turn to the book of Exodus. There you go. Let's turn to the book of Exodus. There you go. Let's turn to the book of Exodus. This is actually one of the first production copies. But I actually had this exact Bible rebound in Capra granulosa goatskin with the red accent stitching. Love this red liner. This was my preaching Bible for about 2 years, and you can see the gilding held up pretty good. It's got some waves and stuff in it where my fingers turn the page. But one of my favorite features of the premium edition is that the words of Christ are in black. Something about red letters, hard to get consistent, but I really wanted to get this one blinged out because this was going to become my preaching Bible. And again, I preached out of this for a couple of years, and then they came out with the green edition. Now, I actually this is a limited edition green goatskin. They didn't make a whole bunch of these, and they are now sold out. They also had a blue one, but I actually ended up selling my blue one. I bought it to do a video, ended up selling it. But this one has a very nice, generous yap. Excellent. Beautiful. And checked out this herringbone gilt line. But you ready for another trick? This one is, voila, blank. Because this is also a production dummy. So I just got this one just to kind of replace my green cover, just so I could show you what was available. But now we're moving into this. And one thing about this that stood out to me right away, I want to see if you can see this. Every premiere collection, when you look at the grain is generally either kind of pebbly or it goes up and down. See how that grain is going up and down on that? But look at this. This is going crossway. So it's like they took the leather and they flipped it on its side. Y'all, I'm here for this. I like that. It makes that grain really distinct and stand out. I've never noticed another Bible doing that. I looked at several premiere collections. All of them either have like this pebble, where the grain has no real sense of direction. It's just kind of pebbly. And then the rest of them are more like this, where it goes up and down. But these all go this way. Really, really cool. So now let's go ahead and look at what you want to see. And then I'm going to bring these into the equation too and show you why they're important as part of the process of the history of this Bible. So again, start off with the black, no hubs. Then they did a brown goatskin with hubs. And then later on, they came out with the blue goatskin with hubs. Then the green. Now we have the red. So let's take a look at this liner and looky here. They went with the herringbone gilt line. Really like that. I also like that they didn't go with the red liner because they went with green on the green. And I like that they went with red on black. Really nice. And another thing I noticed on this one is check out the art gilding. Now I'm going to give you a better look at that by opening it, because this is like really dark in comparison to their previous editions. Because this, look at that, see how light that gilding is? And just so you know, it's not because it's the production one. This is actually the original of this that I had a new cover put on. And you can see the art gilding is lighter on that. So I really like, even the edition where they did the green, the gilding has that lighter on it. So I was really impressed with this art gilding. It looks really nice. And one thing with Thomas Nelson on their premiere collections, they seem to never miss on the gilding. That gilding is smooth. It's not wavy. It looks really, really, really nice. Just love it. Another thing about this, check it out. That, friends, is definitely a generous yap. That's enough yap to train if you wanted to do that. Another thing I picked up on this one that I've never seen in another premiere collection is, I don't know if I can get you to see this, But see that little leather tab there? They used a little leather piece to cover this up. Now, in the other editions, for example, like this one, I'll go ahead and show you in a minute. You see they put the leather tab there, but they put it over top. So there's like this ginormous lip there. So instead of doing it that way, they actually fuse it. I've only seen rebinders do that, but that makes that look clean. You don't see that ugly back mesh on this spine. It gives you that leather all the way through. Really beautiful. And of course, in this one, the words of Christ are in black. Now, in the green edition, the words of Christ were in red. So that was something I didn't really love. Also, the limited edition blue, the words of Christ were also in red. But these, you can see, nice and black. Love the red accents. Just really love this Bible. One good thing about a thin line is you don't have any trouble getting that thing to lay flat. It just lays beautifully flat from Genesis to Revelation. Also, one thing to take note of is in these editions, it does have that overcast stitching to where that kind of protects that first signature, because that's kind of a weak point in some Bibles. So that overcast just kind of cinches it a little bit and holds it together really nice. But really love this yap. Really love this red. Of course, really nice spine hubs. I would like to see them tool out those spine hubs, but every step does cost a little bit of extra money, and they really went for it on this edition. Another thing I'd like to see is go ahead and do some black stitching here to sort of match that black liner. I think that would look good. But this overall is definitely my favorite layout, and this used to be my favorite Bible, but it is no longer my favorite Bible. Before we dive into this stack here, just want to go ahead and show you this. This is an end of verse reference in the King James. Same deal, black liner, herringbone gilt line. Beautiful layout. This one actually has the indexes, and at the end of every verse, there is your reference. Really nice. So now, getting past the thin line, these are also available in Leathersoft covers, but they don't have the red accents, and the words of Christ are in red. So if you want those red accents and the words of Christ in black, that means you're going to have to go after the Premier Collection. But one thing you can do and save some money, and you know a man loves a Bible when he's had it rebound multiple times. So we've got this one. This is the Maclaren. And I love those goffered edges, and this is the exact same layout. I'll illustrate that in just a second. Had this one rebound as well. Love it. This one is the one I'm currently preaching out of. Love it. But you can also get them in Leathersoft covers. Save you a lot of money. Still gives you the beautiful goffered edges, and it also gives you that 36 GSM paper with the words of Christ in blue. And it's easier to get blue more consistent. And I just love the blue of those words of Christ. Just really, really pretty. So if you want that same experience with the 36 GSM paper, and you don't like the words of Christ in red, and you don't have the money to invest in a Premier Collection to get the words of Christ in black, this is a fantastic alternative. Even the Leathersoft editions have the goffered edges and the 36 GSM paper. This text is line matched. It's a 10-point font. Just absolutely, this is my favorite Bible and my favorite layout. The Maclaren has really stolen my heart. Absolutely amazing. So now I want to show you that this and this Bible are identical. So we're going to go to Psalm 137. Why not? Let's pick Psalm 137 in this Bible, and you're going to see that this layout is virtually, or not virtually, but actually identical, other than some accent color. So here we are, Psalm 137. And you can see 100% the same. This is the same paper. And folks, this was a Leathersoft edition. So this was not the premium or the leather edition of the Maclaren. They actually don't make it in the Premier Collection yet, but they're going to one of these days. I am prophesying it in Jesus' name. But anyhow, you see the red accents, really nice verse numbers that are out of the way on your poetic references. And then when you get to the paragraph format, let's go ahead and go to the New Testament so you can see that the words of Christ in this are indeed in black, and the words of Christ in this are indeed in blue, which is the only primary difference in these two Bibles, as you see those words of Christ right here in that beautiful blue. So there are multiple options when it comes to the NKJV Thinline. First of all, you can get the red letter edition. Now, it does not have the 36 GSM premium Bible paper in the Leathersoft editions. In order to do that, you have to buy the premium. If you want the premium in red letter, well, those were limited editions. Those are sold out. The words of Christ are going to be in black on your premium editions. If you want to save some money and actually get that Maclaren with the words of Christ in blue. That's a very easy thing to do with the Leathersoft. You saw a couple cover options there, but you can also graduate up to the genuine leather and get the words of Christ in blue. Needless to say, this is my favorite Bible. I've had it rebound multiple times. I've got multiple copies of it. And, you know, why do you need multiple copies? Well, number one, I like it. Number two, I'm a bit of a collector. And number three, what if they ever go out of print? I don't ever want them to wear out. I always want to have them the rest of my life. God bless you. Keep calm. Jesus on. This is your Nicholsworth.